If I were president and I say this, I will end the war in one day. It would take 24 hours. I know Zelensky well. I know Putin well. I would get that ended in a period of 24 hours. It would be easy. The deal would be easy. Do you agree with
100%.
Tell me why.
Trump's going to go to Putin and say, we are ending all support for the Ukrainians in this matter. Here are the concessions we're going to make. I imagine what people need to understand about what this means. Trump likely hands over Donbass to Russia, hands over Sevastopol, Crimea to Russia. Confirmed, done, end of story. The history of what's going on in this region is very, very complicated. The average person probably doesn't know. And I can only go so far back. There's something called the Qatar-Turkey pipeline. Back in 2009, the CIA intended to oust the Assad regime because they would not allow us to build a natural gas pipeline through Syria, Turkey, into Europe to offset Russia's natural gas monopoly in Ukraine. So what ends up happening is Western powers go to Syria and say, hey, we want to build this pipeline. It's going to go through Syria, through Turkey. They say, no, explicitly. We are allied with Russia, and that would be against their interests. What then happens is, I think it was Iran and Russia say, let's build our own version of this pipeline, tapping the same natural gas source and running it up, bolstering our natural gas control into Europe. There's a lot of reasons for why the West was upset about it. One of them is that the point of the EU and the reason they want cheap energy is so they can develop economically faster to compete with China. When they were looking at this massive dependence on high-cost Russian natural gas and an inability to get any alternatives into Europe, they said, let's end Syria. Fortunately for the West, a civil war just happened to have broken out, for whatever reason, and we were on the opposite side of that. ISIS then emerges, Syria destabilizes. How very convenient. Joe Biden's son becomes a board member at an energy company in Ukraine. Surprise, surprise. Also a former CIA director is also on the board of Burisma. Joe Biden then goes to Ukraine and tells the president, if you don't fire the prosecutor, Viktor Shokin, you're not getting $1 billion in loan guarantees, which is illegal, I might add. The vice president does not have the authority to stop congressionally approved loan guarantees to another country. But hey, they impeached Donald Trump for that, but you don't care that Joe Biden did it. If you and your neighbor are fighting with each other, and then I walk up to you and I hand you a big old pile of rocks, and I tell you where to throw them, do you think your neighbor is going to be like, that guy's not involved at all? He's going to be like, this dude is the one. So we're arming Ukraine. We're telling them where to shoot their missiles. Yeah. The United States provided the intel to Ukraine to sink the Black Sea flagship of Russia. The idea that Putin is going, man, how is Ukraine beating us? It's absurd. Putin is saying NATO is at war with us, using the Ukrainians as cannon fodder. American citizens as quote-unquote volunteers, military trained and armed, are on the ground. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. But people live in this reality where, because there's no formal declaration, that means United States veteran troops armed by the United States, that means we're not actually at war.
I am someone who give credit where it's due. When I watch people talk, or when I listen to people talk, whatever they say that I agree with, I agree with. Whatever they say that I do not agree with, I disagree with them. Now, Tim Pool made a very interesting point. This whole thing in Ukraine is not just about Russia-Ukraine. It's proxy war going on. And if it was just between Russia and Ukraine, I do believe that they might have come to a compromise by now. Yeah. There is so much hand in the soup. And for someone like me who is from Africa, I know this very, very well. And I try to tell most of my friends who are outsider, or most of the viewers of this channel, that the West, aka America, France, Britain, Germany, they are all a bunch of hypocrites. All of them. They say one thing, they turn around and they do the other thing. In fact, the rules are only respected when it's convenient for them. I have made it clear many times on this platform that I do not have any shred of respect for them because of the way they have treated us, the Africans. Now, they are good. The politicians are good in their home country. Like America has a certain level of democracy, and the people in America live happily and they have certain freedoms. But the foreign policy has been a total disaster, especially in Africa. They have imposed authoritarian leaders on us, and they have supported them with weapons and money, allegedly. They came in and took out Muammar Gaddafi through the so-called NATO. They have taken out many, many leaders in Africa. Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, a lot of them, allegedly. So you can see, from my own experience, I understand that the West is never for us. So the ongoing Russia invasion of Ukraine is just another episode of this whole series. Yeah. And this same crisis or war in Ukraine might drag on forever. And do you know why they might love it to be that way? Because they make millions and billions from selling arms to Ukraine. And that is what we Africans have been saying. So for you to think that it's just Putin and Zelensky not being able to agree, that might be a little bit short-sighted of you. There is more going on than you understand. There is more going on than you understand. So it's so funny, it's so funny. And I hope many Americans or the Europeans can begin to see this, because I have watched a couple of videos where people are now speaking out. They are beginning to understand that their politicians and the war machineries are the ones behind this conflict, and they don't want it to end. They don't want it to end. So whenever you go out there and tell people how great your country is, I mean America, how great America is, or how excellent France is, or how wonderful Germany is, remember, they are staging a lot of proxy war all over the world, and they are destabilizing so many countries around the world. And most of the times, if not all of the times, they go scot-free. Nothing happens to them. Nothing happens to them. When they go in, they destabilize the country, then they move out and nothing happens to them. Bush went to Iraq, committed a lot of human rights violation in Iraq. No one is saying anything. Obama and Hillary Clinton, under the banner of NATO, came to Libya, and what did they do? They took out Muammar Gaddafi. They destabilized the country, and no one is saying anything. Now we have Ukraine. So it's left to see how this whole thing is going to play out. But you guys out there, what is your take on Tim Pool's opinion about the whole Western involvement in Ukraine? Do you share his views? Do you think he is right? Let us know in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please do not forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of goodwill, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.